Thus, France has made a major move to protect its children against the toxic nature of social media. A ban has been approved by lawmakers this Tuesday. It means that most popular apps with youngsters are now beyond their reach until the age of 15. And this move follows incidents where social media has played a role in personal tragedies, as well as the increasing awareness of how the toxic nature of some social networks weighs on the lives of youngsters. President Emmanuel Macron, when launching the project, urged young people to put away their smartphones and read books to become smarter and better people. Well, now the National Assembly has acted and the law has been put into place, and France becomes the first European nation to make such a move. Clovis Casali has been following this for us. He joins us now live. Clovis, tell us how this all unfolded.
As expected, an overwhelming majority of MPs backed this bill to ban social media for teenagers and children aged under 15. 279 lawmakers backed this bill. Only 81 voted against, and mostly from the ranks of the radical left France Unbowed party. Those who are pushing for this bill said it's a necessity to protect French children and teenagers. And the MP from Emmanuel Macron's centrist bloc, who was leading, pushing this law, presenting it to the National Assembly, just after the vote, left the room saying, we made it, we've achieved what we needed to do. And this for the children of France, according to her. She also told us earlier in the day that, of course, some will find ways to still get on social media, but everything needs to be done to protect France's children and teenagers, as it is proven that social media has a devastating impact on mental health.
Interesting, Clovis, that politicians who are always so keen to pass their message are willing to go without this, without getting sort of kids young, if you like, getting a message to them. They're actually sort of willing to put that to one side and act, as they see it, in the good of young people in France.
Some MPs here, those who voted against the law, said, we don't think that social media is good for young people, but we just think that this measure will not be implemented. It won't work. There won't be enough checks on the age of people getting onto social media. Because, again, the issue here is that it's for the social media platforms to check the age of these children who would like to get on social media, possibly check, prevent them from doing so if needed. It's an important point also, the fines. The fines that will come for these companies if they decide not to do enough in order to crack down on people, young people, getting onto social media. Of course, young people aged under 15. Worth pointing out also that this bill is set to come into effect very soon, early September. That's when school resumes here in France, and critics say it will be difficult to implement. What's sure is that with this bill, children aged under 15 will not be able to create new accounts for social media after early September, and those who already have an account but who are under 15, well, they'll see their accounts supposedly cancelled within 4 months.
Clovis Casali at the National Assembly, thank you very much indeed. History made then. France becomes the first European nation to ban social media for children under the age of 15. There are many implications and, of course, many reasons why this move has been made. Let's get more on this and bring in Philippe Cohen, who's a lawyer and founder of the NGO Respect Zone. Philippe, thank you for joining us here in the studio.
Thank you.
We appreciate your time, and clearly this is an important moment for France and also for the young people of France. Where do you stand on the issue?
First of all, thank you for opening the debate. And one of the virtues of this text, of this bill, is to debate about it, is to bring this conversation at the family table, in schools, everywhere. It's one brick out of many. It's not a perfect brick at all. There are many flaws. Sanctions are not clear. The implementation is to be clarified. We will work on it, and that's why we do support this project, which is called the Miller Bill. What we have seen in Australia is that there are many flaws. There are many kids that are still being able to use it with ways to circumvent the process, but that's fine. At least there is a debate about what is correct, what is not correct, what is wrong, what is authorized. There's many addiction in France, like in many countries. You have between 30 to 50 suicides. People, young people committing suicide because of online bullying.
30 to 50 young people
per
committing
year
suicide per year
in
because
France.
of online bullying
In France. And this is why our Respect Zone is very active to try even to appear in court, to try to put some light, as we are doing tonight, light on the dangers, the addiction, how to best use social media. This French bill has many flaws, and we can list them. It does apply to messaging, which is not great because there's a risk to desocialize kids. It's very difficult to be part of a gang, of a group, of friends, team and community if you are not part of the social media messaging system. The sanctions are not very clear, unlike in Australia. In Australia, you have a cap of 50 million Australian dollars, sorry, which is a deterrent for social media operators to say, we are going to think of a process to make sure that we are checking the age. There is no age checking device which is rooted in this law. There is one paragraph which is very interesting about education. It's a tiny one. It does only apply to the school program, but social media dangers and challenges and flows are not only based in the school or in the schoolyard. It's also at home. It's everywhere. We need also to make sure that this type of programs do include some ways to budget and fund educational program. Otherwise, it's only a sentence in a bill, which is probably going to be difficult to implement. So we are going to try to focus on what is going to happen within the next 6 weeks, because in 6 weeks it's supposed to be implementable, and next year, calendar year, it's going to be obligatory in France. It's an obligation about accessing, not about logging in, which is different from the Australian system or the Brazilian one. There's been a couple of other countries like Israel, Indonesia, Brazil, which have also implemented such bill. Australia is the only one with a 7 months survey ability. And in Australia, 86% of the kids surveyed say we are still online, we are still accessing something. But at least there is a debate about the what is acceptable and what is not. And when you are a parent, for the digital parenting, which is the most difficult task on earth, now there is an ability to talk about respect online, which is exactly what we are trying to do. We are developing in France and soon in the US and in other countries the first exhibition about how to prevent social media violence, cyber violence, bullying, online hate, and online hate is everywhere, including this day about anti-Semitism online, and I'm sure that you are going to tackle that in your evening news program. We have one new toolkit to add to the rest, and this type of exhibition, I think, needs to be also helped and nurtured by such bills. We are not yet there. One step after the other. First things come first, as we say. We are only at the beginning of the educational program.
It's one of these things, Philip, sorry to interrupt you. It's one of these things there where you can have a law, but as you said, 86% of youngsters in Australia are getting around that law to still use in some way, shape or form social media. But like you say, at least it's got the issue out in the open and people can discuss. How do you make parents more aware of how to find out what is happening? How do you actually break down that barrier? Because if a child could come to a parent and say, look, mum, look, dad, or look, whoever, this is being said to me online. This is wrong. I'm really unhappy. Because this is the thing, isn't it? Children suffering in silence, keeping it to themselves. That's the thing we've got to try and combat. And how do we get through that? Because in a sense, that's always been the issue with bullying, hasn't it? People are a bit ashamed to talk about it. They feel that people will say, you're just a big baby, don't be like that, can't you stand up yourself and be tough? Well, it's easy to say that, but it's more difficult to be tough, isn't it? So how do you get past that issue?
I mean, the main message of our NGO messaging is called respect zone. Yeah. And one of the key tools is to help parents to question, do you feel my son or my daughter respected today online? You know, on a scale of 1 to 5. Tell me about how much you feel respected.
This is a great discussion.
And this is one of the second thing is how many people are breaching local laws. You know, let's say we are in Melbourne or in Sydney. Tell me about your classmates. How many people are in breach of the local laws these days in your class? And you can be sure that the kids know exactly the numbers and the math. What about, have you been exposed at school about the dangers of addiction or sextortion or doxing? If the answer is, I'm not, we are hearing about it, from morning to evening and we don't care, at least you can, even if there is a first negative reaction, you're opening the debate.
Good to open that door, isn't it? It's really good to open that door.
And the numbers about bullying and committing suicide and losing your own life. And this is something where we are trying to have parents and kids also being trained as ambassadors of online respect. It's one additional line in their resume. It's a way also to be holding the flag of, I am the ambassador of online respect. It's not about being fashionable or it's just being respected and respectful, and that's what's matter.
We've been running a report today regarding one particular app. It's TikTok, so I'll name it. TikTok being used by pimps, men luring young women, often women underage, into prostitution. I mean, this is the nightmare, isn't it, when this kind of thing goes on, because the access that youngsters have to these apps so far, and now it's going to stop here in France. Well, at least that's what the law says. How do you get past that? How do you, I mean, clearly that's about...
Parents. Exemplarity as well. I mean, how many of our, ourselves or friends are posting pictures or video of their kids without, obviously, their consent? What is made out of these pictures and videos by people luring at them is fantastically awful and scary. There's been a lot of studies recently about how you can, with AI, turn a kid's picture into porn content. First things come first, banning kids is probably going to be badly resented by many of them. I think this is also the time maybe to have a new bill, to try to educate parents and exemplarity about parents. There is one paragraph in this new French Miller bill which says that the ban of smartphone in schools goes from middle school to high school. Okay, fine. What about exemplarity? Why adults in schools are still authorized to wear smartphone? How does that work in the mind and in the brain of a kids when you see that the people who are supposed to be exemplary are not having to abide by the same rules? It's not an easy piece. So this is why when we run labels and charters, and this is what we do at Respect Zone, the rule is the same for adults, kids, corporation, and journalists as well.
Philip, thank you very much for coming in and sharing your analysis with us. Greatly appreciated. Philip Cohen, lawyer and founder of the NGO Respect Zone. Power to you, sir, because what you're saying makes so much sense, and it is vitally important for kids, not just in France, but everywhere, and adults too. Thank you very much indeed, Philip, and good luck to you. Thank you very much indeed. Philip Cohen, lawyer and founder of the NGO Respect Zone. We'll have more